that gun in the pages. So then it's almost like Predator 2 was referencing that comic book, and then they ended up putting the gun in Prey as a kind of little Easter egg, which is pretty cool, but and it leaves it open to, okay, so Naru has the gun at the end of this film, so how does it get to Danny Glover's character, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or like the Predators, and then you could go into, did you guys watch the animated credit scene at the end when the credits roll?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice it plays out the movie for you, and at the end they're like
more of them show up, right?
Yeah, Naru and her dog are kind of looking off into the cliffs, and there's like these clouds and these fucking ships show up, and then that's it. So it's kind of hinting at something happening. But what I want to know is, did the Predators come down to like be like, hey, like good job or whatever, like honoring the kill, or they're coming to like fight them, you know what I'm saying? And then because that would make sense that they would have that gun, you know what I'm saying? Either Naru gave it to them, or they took it by force, like a trophy. We know that they're into trophies for sure.
Yeah.
I would like to assume that it was kind of hinting that she gave it to him, because if not, I mean, that means they fucking, like you said, they took it for a trophy, and that means her fate is kind of we know her fate already.
Yeah,
and massacred them.
Yeah. But yeah, I love that little Easter egg too. As soon as I saw that fucking gun, I was like, "Oh shit, the gun!"
I see me not seeing the second one really, or just bits and pieces. I knew it held some type of importance, because they kind of this camera was kind of on the gun for a little longer than usual. So I was kind of I knew it had something to do with. It was meant to be important.
Let's talk about some of the other movies.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
We talked about the first one. 2 is plays well on nostalgia, but it's like RoboCop 2, where it's like, yeah, I would just rather watch RoboCop the original, you know?
Yeah.
Predator 2, like the I guess him in LA, it's like and it was super weird. Like the movie came out in 1990 and they based it in 1997, where it's like, what the fuck was that for? Okay. Gary Busey's in it. Like, it has a great cast, and you would think it would be a good movie, and it tries to up the body count, and it's very vulgar and violent. And again, Ryan, you just watched 1 and 2 today as well, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, 2 is just kind of like
I just don't think it was needed. like the it seems like cool, like, oh shit, like the Predator in a city, fuck yeah. But then it just didn't translate well, I don't think.
The big thing that I like that they did with Predator 2 was they cast Danny Glover, which is pretty rad.
Yeah.
You would never.
Danny Glover's good in it.
Yeah, that, like, he is the saving. If that movie could be saved, it would be by him and him alone. AVP, they go the PG-13 route. They overcomplicate the mythos of the aliens and the, Predator. I know there's an Easter egg at the end of Predator 2 when they're on the ship and you see a xenomorph skull hanging up in a trophy wall, which is cool. The first AVP is Paul Anderson, P.S. Anderson, the guy who did those fucking Resident Evil movies.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's PG-13. It's kind of boring. Very kind of WWE-esque with like what they have to do for the action scenes. And then that made money. That made it was technically a success. So then they greenlit a second one, which had substantially a lower budget, AVP Requiem.
Requiem, yeah.
Which they wanted to push like, hey, it's rated R. Come watch it. It's rated R now. Don't worry. God.
Yeah, but that movie is so dark you can't see any of the rated R stuff.
Yeah, it's the worst color grading I've ever seen.
It's like you're watching the movie with sunglasses on.
Even I remember we rented that. My grandparents thought they were going crazy because they were like, can you help me with the settings on the TV? Like, we can't see what's happening on the movie. But it was the movie itself. Is just I guess they wanted to hide the puppets and their lack of budget, so they just completely even in the daytime, those scenes look just like really weird and jarring. Bad movie. It has a 13% on Rotten right now.
So speaking about those two movies, would you guys consider those in that? Like, I don't. That's why I didn't bring it up. Like I said, Predators, because I don't really consider those two movies in like the timeline or whatever of the franchise. Yeah, I don't really see those as canon.
Yeah, I would agree because they're
I would take those out as well. I mean, if we're going like that, I don't know if there's an end all be all, like someone who has the final say on those. Mm-hmm. But I guess it's just up to the fans to kind of agree on what is actually canon and what's not, and if that's kind of like an Elseworlds type of thing. But I would go with that. That the AVP franchise is not really a part of this world.
I'll say this: Predator, Alien versus Predator. That premise works in comic books, in video games. You wanna tell stories? Do it in that medium, but not movies. Not movies.
Yeah. I want to say this about AVP. I actually enjoyed it, but I think it was because it came out in a time of where, like, when did AVP come out? 2007?
Yeah, when I graduated. Yep.
Okay, so yeah, I think I was a junior in high school, so I was like, oh, this is badass, but I think it was just, I totally, now thinking, I haven't seen it in a while, but now thinking back on it, it does take, I want to say, like 2/3 of the movie for like stuff to start happening.
I think that's why it did so well too, is because it was like, when did it come out? 2007?
Yes.
That's like 17 years in between movies that we got to see, the Predator on the big screen. So everyone was excited to go see it.
Right.
And it's, fucking Predator versus Alien, like, you fucking kidding me? But yeah, it's not terrible. It's cool. Like, it's.
I enjoyed the story behind it. Like the Predators showed like the Aztecs or Mayans how to build pyramids, and then they used them for sacrifices to hunt aliens. I thought that was a cool twist on kind of connecting those the cultures and stuff.
Yeah.
But moving on, what we were at, we just got done with AVP Requiem.
Yeah. Also, that movie is very it's weird and mean. They killed children and pregnant ladies.
Oh shit! That's right.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Like, you didn't like our PG-13 version? We'll go hard R.
And in all
you
the
like
wrong
killing
ways.
Kids, so do we.
Predators, which comes out in 2010. It's got a stacked cast, and this time it kind of acts as a subtle reboot of the first one. This time on a hunting planet, a bunch of people are basically abducted and dropped onto the planet based on things that they've done wrong here on Earth.
They're all basically like the best military or like mercenaries in their,
or criminals.
I'd say criminals, best killers basically is a better term for that time and period. whenever they were snatched off of Earth. Yeah, I love the way they connect that one to the Venezuela incident with Arnold.
Because it was produced by Robert Rodriguez, and I think this was his concept that he had been trying to get off the ground for years. I think they tweaked it a bit from what his original vision was, but the fact that he was a part of this was pretty cool. This was probably my favorite one. Don't hate me, Ryan. I don't think he likes this very much.
Oh, you don't like this one? It's so funny. After I watched Prey for the first time, I'm like, oh, I gotta watch Predators, because like that to me, I'm like, oh, like that's probably like the next best thing throughout the entire series. You know what I mean? I just like I'm with you. What's on that one? I don't know if Ryan doesn't like me anymore.
He hung up.
I'm just saying that. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that. I thoroughly enjoyed Predators. I thought it was a cool concept. It was very much similar to the first one, where they're kind of commandos, but not really. And the cool like story, or the storyline twist at the end with Eric Foreman.
Oh yes, God, what's his name?
Topher Grace. Topher Grace. So what are your thoughts on that one right now? I'm interested to hear it now that I know.
No, like it's okay. Like I don't fucking hate it. It's not like I'll watch it. I did go see that in the movie theaters as well. It's a dope premise, you know, just fucking dropping all those people off on that planet. I don't know. It's just okay. Like it's Robert Rodriguez should have had a little bit more. Like it should have been a film that he did.
Yeah.
Not just produce it or pitch it. But I mean, it's cool. It's definitely not my favorite. One of my favorites, and it's probably lower on the totem pole of the franchise.
What about what's his name? Morpheus. His little like 15-minute cameo. Yeah. I thought it was cool. I thought him being in that was a surprise. I don't think I remember seeing him in the promotional stuff for that. So I thought that was pretty cool to see him just pop up in it.
I think his, if I'm not mistaken, he was originally supposed to be Danny Glover's character. That's supposed to be Danny Glover.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Wow, that would have been insane. I think that would have made that movie way better.
But what's next? The Shane Black's The Predator.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a letdown this was.
I had high hopes for this one, man. I was excited for this when I heard about it in the cast, and then kind of. I don't know what happened with this one. Again,
stellar cast. It had a lot of negative controversy with somebody that was attached to it that had a criminal history, is what I'm going to say, and he shouldn't have ever been hired. So then, that was kind of plagued the opening, and I felt like people didn't really take it as seriously as they would have without that controversy, right? A lot of studio meddling in this.
Yeah.
Huge reshoots on the conclusion. Changing things. It doesn't know what it's trying to be. There's no real tone there. It's just a huge mess. Not a fan of that big predator that's way too fast and visceral, and come on, guys.
Like a super predator. It's like the Arnold version of Predators.
And it's the biggest movie sin that this one does. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but it tries to tell you that autism is like a superpower, or it's trying to, and it's just it just feels so disrespectful and weird and offensive that they would try to literally run with something like that.
I think they like probably might have had like good intentions with that, but it did not work at all. It just felt very off.
Yeah, like they didn't know what they were doing, you know. And I'm not saying that you can't put